Hello, my name is Devin McGregor, and for my Masterworks project, I built a ukulele. First of all, I'm going to start off by telling you how I chose to build a ukulele. When I was a kid, my brother owned a ukulele. I remember he used to pretend and play it, but he never really could. I remember the ukulele being very big and brown. It was a baritone ukulele, so it was the biggest you could get. When I got a little older, I figured out that the ukulele was not in tune when my brother was playing it. So I decided that I wanted to learn to tune and maybe play the ukulele. So I asked my dad for help, and we tuned it. But the ukulele never stayed in tune. One minute it would be in tune, the next it was out of tune. After a while I forgot about it, but was still interested in the ukulele. So I decided to buy one. I saved up my $80 and went to the store. At the store, there were a couple of pretty cheap ukuleles, so I bought one, and on the way home, I learned my first chord, which was a C. When I got more experience with the ukulele, I remember that we still owned the baritone ukulele that my brother used to play. Just as I remembered, it still wouldn't stay in tune. I decided to try and fix it. I looked around online, and eventually the internet led me to videos of people building ukuleles. I thought that this was really cool. I was looking around on the old ukulele and found some screws in the tuners, and I decided to screw them, and lo and behold, it tightened the tuning pegs and it fixed the problem. I was proud of myself. I had just fixed a ukulele. This got me more interested in the videos online, and I started watching a lot. This eventually led to me wanting to build a ukulele as my Masterworks project. Today, when people think of ukuleles, they think of Hawaii. But the ukulele is based off of an earlier instrument called a machete. These are examples of machetes. The machetes were created by the people who lived on the Madeira Islands in Portugal. They were a lot like the ukulele, but were longer and skinnier. There are several different stories about how the ukulele, or the machete, came to Hawaii. One story is that the machete was brought to Hawaii by Portuguese immigrants in the 1800s who came to work on the sugarcane farms. Another story is that in 1879, there were two cabinet makers who lived on the island in Portugal. The island was being covered up by the sea, so they had to move. They got on a boat and went to Hawaii. These cabinet makers also had the ability to make musical instruments. They created the machete and brought it with them to Hawaii. King Kalākaua of Hawaii fell in love with the instrument. He asked the Portuguese people to make him more of the instrument, and he named it the ukulele. Because the king loved the ukulele so much, other people started to play them too, and this is how the ukulele became popular in Hawaii. So this is King Kalākaua. There are several different stories about how the ukulele got its name. The name ukulele roughly translates to jumping flea. One reason why the ukulele may be called the jumping flea is that when the Portuguese people came to Hawaii, they were so excited to be there, they jumped off their boats and started to jump around playing their ukuleles. So they named it the ukulele or jumping flea. Some of you may wonder how the ukulele got to America. Well, I have another story that tells us the ukulele was introduced to America in the Panama Pacific Exposition that was held in San Francisco in 1915. At this exposition, there were different pavilions for different countries from the Pacific. The Hawaiian pavilion was there. In the Hawaiian pavilion, there was a band that played there. The name of the band was George E.K. Awai and his Royal Hawaiian Quartet. They all played the ukulele. Over the years, the ukulele spread throughout the world, growing more and more popular. After the 1960s, the ukulele became less popular. One reason may be a performer named Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim played a very tiny ukulele and sang in a very high voice. In 1968, Tiny Tim wrote a song called Tiptoe Through the Tulips, and he performed it on The Ed Sullivan Show. People made fun of him, and it negatively affected the popularity of the ukulele. Because of this, ukuleles became known as kind of a joke instrument. So this is him.
Whatever he did with this song.
Ukuleles are very popular again today. However, one reason is because of some famous people who started to play them. One of those people is named Eddie Vedder. Eddie Vedder is a singer and musician from the world-famous rock band Pearl Jam. And on a trip to Hawaii, he bought one of these instruments and recorded a whole album of ukulele songs. The album was named Ukulele Songs and was released in 2011. Another reason why the ukulele is popular today is because of the technology of YouTube. A man from Hawaii named Jake Shimabukuro recorded himself playing George Harrison's While My Guitar Gently Weeps on the ukulele. The video went viral and the ukulele became more popular. Jake Shimabukuro is now considered by many to be the world's best ukulele player. So this is a video of him.
This is a song that
I think the main reason why the ukulele is so popular today is because it's so easy to play. It started off with musicians finding them and playing them, and that got people interested. Today, the small size, ease of play, and fantastic sound have all contributed to the ukulele becoming a very popular instrument. You may be wondering how I actually build the ukulele. Well, that is exactly what I'm going to show you. To build my ukulele, I worked with a local luthier named Meredith Kalākaua. On the first day, we planed and joined the backplates and the top plates together. The top and the back plates are pretty self-explanatory. They're the top and the back of the ukulele. I also selected which wood I wanted. I was given a choice from a few different woods. For the top plate of the ukulele, it was cedar or maple. I chose cedar. Meredith gave me a couple of different pieces of cedar to pick from, and I chose one. The second wood that I had to choose from was the back plate and the sides. For this I chose rosewood because of how beautiful it was. So this is the side plates being glued together. We clamped them together using rope and wedges of wood. Next we made the rosette, cut out the sides, planed the braces, and glued the braces to the back plate. A rosette, if you didn't know, is a decoration around the hole in the ukulele body. I was allowed to choose from a lot of different colors of wood to put in it. I wanted something nice looking but not too fancy, so I chose black and white. It turned out really nice looking and I was happy with what I chose. The braces are strips of wood on the inside of the instrument. They make the instrument stronger and harder to break. So this is the Rosette Finished. Later we sanded out the bumps that are around the hole. This is me planing the braces. Basically what I'm doing is making them thinner. This is me radiusing the braces. Radiusing is basically using a board that is dipped in the middle with a piece of sandpaper on it. So when you sand, it makes a piece of wood curved slightly. Then it was time to measure and slot the fretboard. We also glued the braces to the top plate. Measuring the fretboard was hard. I had to find exact measurements and draw a line where they were. Luckily, I didn't make many mistakes. It just took a long time to do. Slotting the fretboard was easier. All I had to do was cut notches where I drew the lines. After that, we carved the braces and put the bridge plate in. Carving the braces was one of the hardest things for me. When carving them, you need to be very careful not to break them. For this, I used a chisel. When you carve them, you need to make a curve down, but if you go too far or if you slip, you can mess it up. A bridge plate is a piece of wood that goes on the inside of the ukulele, just under the bridge, which is on the top of the ukulele, and the bridge keeps the strings on. And the bridge plate, it reinforces the bridge. This is me measuring where I had to put the braces on the ukulele body. Next, we glued Then we bent the sides in kerfing. Bending the sides is quite difficult as well. I used a wood bender, which is a piece of metal in a certain shape that heats up. You get the piece of wood wet that you want to bend and slowly press it on. You need to apply quite a bit of pressure for it to bend, but not too much because the wood can break. The kerfing is on the inside of the instrument. It secures the ukulele and keeps it together. Next, we glued the sides to the back and glued the end blocks on, and we fit on the top to close the box. This was an easy process. All we had to do was glue and clamp. Now the ukulele body was done. Then we carved the neck. Carving the neck was really tiring. There was a lot of sanding, chiseling, and filing. It was one of the hardest things, but at the end, it was very satisfying. The neck turned out really nice looking, and I was proud of it. Next, we cut the binding channel, then bent and installed the binding. The binding is for decoration, and it serves a purpose. It is meant to keep everything together, kind of like the braces. We also glued the top of the ukulele to the body to form the box. So I didn't have a picture of my binding, so I found one online. Then we cut the dovetail joint. The dovetail joint is what holds the neck to the body. On the last 2 days, I had a lot of sanding to do. This was very tiring, but it was worth it. Finally, I varnished the ukulele and I was done. So this is a video of me playing the ukulele that I built. to thank Meredith Kalākaua for helping me build the instrument, Michael Dunn for giving me advice on my project, Adrian Van Lithjude for helping me make my paper and presentation, and my parents for helping me practice and not get too stressed out about the project.
Thanks everyone for your attention this morning. We've had 3 great presentations, and I am very proud to say that Mr. Devin Davis McGregor has created an incredible ukulele and has also met all the requirements for the Masterworks program at Island Pacific School.